All right, hello everybody. Welcome. This is Kourtney with Scrapbook-N-Memories in Harrisonville, Missouri, and we are here with Crafty hour number 74. So welcome everybody. I love 49 and Market. I love these kits. I think they're so much fun, especially for the crafty hours. And I love the rub-ons. They're rub-ons, I always say, they're not like the rub-ons we had 10, 15 years ago. Their rub-ons are fabulous, and they go on like butter. So welcome everybody. Sometimes I get on a little kick and I have a theme, and then I'm just like, oh, I'm going to stick with this theme with the whole crafty hour. And that's what I did with this one. I wanted to do what I called mailable, don't be shocked, don't fall out of your chair, mailable cards. So all of these cards are going to be semi-flat, except for maybe one or two items, semi-flat. So we are going to play with these pack of rub-ons, and we're going to learn how to layer them and see how luxurious and how much fun these rub-ons are and how they go on like butter, that you guys are just going to fall in love. Hi, Dee. I see Dee jumped on. So beautiful rub-ons. They're like butter. So in the homework, I told you guys to grab 5. Yep, I think we will make it through 5. 5 card bases, and these are just A2 card bases. These are the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cards. And then I told you to have a rub-on tool or something. So we can do those if you have a bone folder, a popsicle stick, oh, I love it. Helen says, I'm working on being the crown queen of rub-ons. I love rub-ons. You can just use them for everything. In our kit, we're going to grab these frames out. We're going to do the large, I think this is the only square that was in there. And then the 2 rectangular frames. So we're going to grab those. And pretty much, guys, that's it. So also in your kit, I'm just going to move these guys kind of out of the way here. And we'll kind of start simple, and we'll kind of work it up a notch and kind of play with it. And so what we're going to start with is your pattern papers. So in your kit, I'm going to have you grab these 3 pieces of pattern papers. Now, these pattern papers, we're going to use the B side, because with the rub-ons, the A sides were just a little too much to try to work the rub-ons in with those and work them out. So we're going to use these. So it might be easier for you guys to find these papers by this side. So we're going to use this one. On the back side is just the little baby dots. Isn't that one cute? So grab that piece of paper. You're also going to look for this piece of paper here. Has the butterfly on it, and I know everybody's going to be like, oh my god, I love that piece of paper, the A side's so pretty. Well, you're in luck. We gave you a entire pack of paper, so you will be able to use the A sides on the other ones. Okay, and then on the back side of that is just kind of like random script, random postage kind of stamp stuff. Okay, and then this one here. And on the back side, it's kind of that little, I don't know what we call that shape, but it's that shape. So those are the 3 pieces of paper that I want you guys to grab at your kit. What we're going to do is cut all of these at once, because they're all going to be the same size. We're going to kind of stick with what I call a blueprint, and then we are just going to rinse and repeat on those. I know, Joanne, I love creating with rub-ons. Sometimes, because these papers, and I'm telling you, 49 Market does a fabulous job, sometimes these papers are all pretty already, and you're like, oh, all I have to do is just add that on. So essentially what we're doing is building scenes with the rub-ons that are kind of already what the printed papers do when they design them. But we're going to play with the rub-ons. So grab those 3 pieces of paper, guys. And then grab your trimmer. So like I said, we're just going to rinse and repeat and kind of repeat the same process on all these cards. So our card that we have is an A2 card. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're going to do simple math. Anytime you want simple math with a little bit bolder frame, you always just take off 1/4 inch. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is what our white piece is. We are going to cut our pattern papers, all of them, to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, 4 by 5 1/4. And this piece of paper is 6 by 8. So all we're going to do is chop it in half and then do our other. So it's going to be really quick, guys. Really quick and easy. I wanted to do some quick, easy cards for you so we could do them in an hour, just an hour. So all of our pattern papers, I'm just going to cut it down to my... Did I already cut that down? Oh, I think I already cut mine down because I used it for a piece of scrap. You're going to cut it to 5 1/4. This was 6 inches, so I just cut it 5 1/4. And then we're going to flip it and do 4 inches. Okay, so you're going to end up with equals. I did already cut mine off because what I did is I cut my scrap off, and that scrap I used in my my sentiments. So we're going to leave the sentiments off. That way you can add whatever sentiment you want. I feel like I never have enough thank you cards. So I cut out a bunch of thanks, and that little strip that I cut off, I just cut it to matching coordinates on that B-side paper. Now that die, I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to look it up for you guys. But it is one of the Wendy Vecchi's from Spellbinders. It has nesting rectangular scallops on it, and then in the center of it, it has that word thanks. So maybe Deanna can find us a number if she's not getting her nails done. Okay, so there's that one, and we're going to do that to all of them. So we're going to slice them at 5 1/4, which that one is sliced, and then by 4. And one of the polka dots we're not going to use, and one of them we will, because we're only going to do 5 cards. But who knows? If we have enough time to do a 6 card, we'll see what we got. So you're going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern papers. Your other polka dot, just throw it to the side. Oh, yes, and the rub-ons are great for the outside of cards, too. Okay, so the first one we're going to start with, I'm going to do the polka dot. It doesn't matter which one you guys use. Use whatever you want. So does anybody else need the measurements? Are we good? Or I will get rid of that measurement so I can put our sample card there. So we're going to kind of build one card at a time. We're going to start with the polka dots. Now, if you guys haven't used rub-ons before, they are really super easy to use. And what I love is it makes them look like they are printed onto the cardstock once you put them on. And they give them a really nice, and these guys are cool because you can layer them on too. You can really, really layer them on, which is fabulous. So with rub-ons, if you haven't used them, they do have a backing on them. Now, I leave the backing on because these do have a little tackiness to it. So if you were to peel the whole backing off and be like, oh, I'm just going to lay that one down and rub it, other things are going to stick that you don't want to stick. So the key is to grab a good pair of scissors. I love my little cutter bees. And we're just going to cut out, I'm trying to figure out which one I used here. This one. We're just going to cut out that rub-on. Okay, you're going to cut it through the packaging and everything. So we're just going to kind of go in there and cut that one out. Another trick that I do too, and I do have one. Sometimes when I lose the backing or when I get started and I don't want to lose that backing, I will just take and staple my backing on there, and that way I know it doesn't flake off or fall off, and I don't lose it because it's at least attached in one spot. So I'm just going to pop a staple in each one. So that's just kind of a hint and trick to keep your packaging on there so you don't lose it. But that's the one we're cutting out first. So that one down here. Now this does have 49 and mark it on there. I'm going to cut that off because that is actually a rub-on also. And I don't want that to be on my card. Okay. Then, so when I was designing this cards, and I'll kind of show you how my process was working, I kind of took the pieces and I laid them out. I kind of laid my card out thinking, how is it going to look? So I laid that there. Then we're going to go over to our flowers. Let's find that one. It is right here, and I am horrible, and I don't know what my flower names are. Otherwise, I would say grab the dahlia, but I have no idea what a dahlia is. I know what a rose is. I'm not good with flowers, guys. Sorry, there's just so many. But this pretty one right here, we are going to cut that one out in our rub-on. And so then I kind of went over here and I was like, oh, I love how this had a little bit of openness in it, but it had a little layering. And I thought, oh, that fits in there really nice, doesn't it? That looks really good. But then it covered all of this. And I'm like, I kind of want that to carry on because I wanted it to be over on my print. And I'm like, well, this guy's hanging off here. He's kind of a straggler, right? And we're not going to waste that rub-on. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I cut that off. Kind of like how Deanna just chops and kills the your die cuts and then you pokey it somewhere else. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to chop that guy off because we weren't going to see him anyways. And we're going to lay him in over here because wouldn't that be cute to have your pattern here and your pattern here? So it looks like it's kind of going together. Isn't that fun? And then I felt like, oh, we got some open space here. I want to have some white space. I know it's hard to embrace the open space, but we wanted to have some white space. And I really love this border. And I always like to stack my ribbons or stack my scrap strips. So that's kind of what I did here. I was like, oh, that'll be cool. Let's stack that. So we're just going to take and cut out one of these strips. It doesn't matter which one, but we're kind of visually, I always say I'm from Missouri. It's the show me state. So you got to show me. So what we are doing, we're kind of auditioning our card. We're laying it out and seeing what we like and what we want to do with it. And so, yeah, I wanted it to kind of come in here. I'm like, that is perfect. Let's just snip it there. And then if that one's longer, I always like to go in with one a little bit shorter and we can go that way. Or I kind of like to do the stitching on stitching. So that looked kind of cool. So we're going to snip that there. Oh, I just stabbed my mat. Oh, that makes me sad. Okay. So that is our card. So that's essentially our card. So now we have to think in layers. What do we want on the top? What do we want on the bottom? How are we going to build those layers? So this guy, of course, is going to be in the background. So at that point, you can peel off your backing. And when you place it, be pretty careful that that's where you want it because it is kind of sticky. So once it grabs it, okay? And then you're just going to take your popsicle stick, your rub-on tool, whatever you have, and you're just going to go around it and just rub it. We're just going to rub it. We might not make it through 5 cards, but you guys will get the idea, and I can show you the sample of them. We'll see how we go. Okay. Okay, you lift it. If you see something hanging on, that little polka dots hanging on, you lay it back down and you just rub it again. And these rub-ons do come off nice and clean, and they just look very luxurious. That's the word I'm going for. They look like they're printed on there. They're just fabulous. So we're just going to keep building our card, building our scene with those rub-ons. So I kind of want to lay him in there. I want to overlap him. I don't want him to look like he's floating out there, just like that. Okay. So then we're just going to take your rub-on tool, rub it on. How are you guys doing? Do you guys like rub-ons? I'm like addicted to rub-ons. I loved rub-ons even when they weren't good. I loved the concept of them because you can put them on your photos. You can put them on cardstock, paper, glass, plastic, acrylic, glossy photos, all that. It will stick, and I just love it. But like I said, I loved rub-ons when they weren't good. I would put in the elbow grease to get them to stick. But now that the rub-ons don't suck, I really love them. So 49 Market has great rub-ons. Spellbinders has some beautiful holiday ones. The Christmas and the Halloween collection is very nice. They also have All in Create. Oh, they have some too. Okay, so then we're just going to lay this guy in here. And again, I wanted to layer him in that way. That's kind of peekabooing back around that. Joanne says she gets her best results with a bone folder and directly on her glass mat because it's hard surfaces. Yep, that works too. I'm working on a silicone mat, so it has a little bit of give to it. Sometimes I find if I work on too hard of a surfaces, it leaves an indentation, and I don't want an indentation on there. Okay, so now we're just rubbing. We are just rubbing and creating. Gosh, the new All in Create and the black and white. We just got the black and white release in today. I think Ken just got it in the system. The black and white All in Create. Oh my God, it is stunning. So basically what they did is the last release was all those beautiful bright color butterflies and stuff. They basically re-released that entire collection in print, but this time did it in black and white. So it is very pretty. And they do work together really nice too. They work hand in hand together. Okay, how's everybody doing? Are we doing good? Oh, I missed a butterfly. We'll go back and add that. I had some white space and we needed to cover that white space, too much white space. So we're going to add a butterfly. Let's go find that one. And there are sentiments on here too. So if you want to use all these sentiments, feel free to use those. I just felt like none of these sentiments worked for the kind of cards that I need coming up. So I just die cut my things. There's that butterfly right here. Oh, I am very heavy-handed. And I am a very heavy-handed inker too. I have learned that I like a lot of color. Okay, so we got that little butterfly. We're just going to put her right there. And the nice thing about their rub-ons, you could probably literally just use your finger. Yeah, and look at that. And they stick. They come off really nice. Okay, so there's card number 1. We're going to do all the rub-ons first, because I think that'll be easiest. And then we'll go back and add the black splats and put them on our card bases. So we're just going to play with the rub-ons, guys. So there is our first one. How are you guys doing? Are you doing good? Okay, here's our second one. We're going to build up a little bit more layers. So the background I used on this one is this one right here. Okay, and again, I went in with the other border. Okay, so this border right here, we're going to go in with that border. And we'll just kind of build this. I showed you how I did the process of doing the first one. So now we're just going to go in and not audition it because we know it's going to work. So we're just going to do it. So that rub-on, I kind of cut it in thirds. Like that is 3/4. Kind of cut it in 3/4. And then the other one is like a third. So they're different lengths. So we'll just put a little strip there. And if you guys aren't fans of rub-ons yet, I hope you are after this one. I hope you love rub-ons after this. Another cool thing about rub-ons, which is going to be really cool for the black and white ones from All in Create, is rub-ons resist. So if you put it down and then put sprays or inks or stuff over the top of it, they kind of resist some of that. So that gives you another cool effect. Okay, now we're looking for a giant flower, this guy right here, and we want just the flower. We don't want the little inchworm, and we don't want the butterfly, which the inchworm would be really cute kind of to put up a branch. That would be cute. But we're just going to cut out that flower, cut out some of the inky, splotty, painty pieces. Okay, and then we're going to look for my favorite ones. I love these things. These ones are so much fun. Let's see, which ones did I use? This one. So we're looking for this sheet. We're going to use this one right here. Okay. And I didn't do the big inky splotch, just the one with the text. I love these inky splotches with text on them. They're so cool. And you could get this effect too with stencils. If you have an inky splotchy looking stencil, you stencil your ink on, and then while your stencil is still down, you can stamp on top of it, and that'll give you that effect. And then we're going for this little guy right here. Okay, we're just cutting them out. Just chop, chop, chop. Don't think about it. Don't worry about if you cut an ink spot in half or an ink spot somewhere. We're chopping it out. So I want the flower to be the focal point. So these guys are going to be in the back. I'm going to lay this one first. Excuse me, because it's kind of the larger one. And we're going to go right there on the bottom. And see how that leaf kind of tucks around it? I love how that kind of worked out. Okay, make sure we're straight. And just rub it. And I love this tool. It's by Excel. It's got this flat metal to it. I really like it for rub-ons. That way I don't have a point and I'm not digging into my cardstock. Okay, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay. And then this one we can go ahead and put down because the other guy, we can work around that. Okay, so we're going to layer that on top. Just like that. And see how they lay nicely on top of each other? They're opaque, so they're not showing through, and they just layer really nice. Oh, thank you, Joanne. She says the card stock. She really likes the style of the cards. They are a bit simple but elegant, right? And they're going to be mailable. I mean, I think sometimes rub-ons just don't get enough love. We just collect them and don't know how to use them. And of course, you've got lots of amazing laser cuts in this kit. So if these are too flat for you and you need a little bit more 3D, you can, of course, add your pop dots. You can add your laser cuts on top to give you more dimension, and just treat this like a pattern piece of paper. Okay, then we got our next little inky splotchy. Joanne, I have more coming. We are out of them right now, but I do have some more coming. I think they shipped out today. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Look how simple but yet elegant. And we built that. Okay, we have to add another butterfly. Ah, I love butterflies. This butterfly is right here. So we got to go in there and grab that guy. And I'll get a couple paint splotches in with that. And then we're just going to layer it up just like that. Layer it over those little strips, over that little scripty, painty, splotty piece. And 49 and Market has, and we do have them in stock, an entire release, and they're older, so some of you guys probably already have them in your stash because you collected every color. They did these in tones. There was like a green one and a blue one and a purple one and a red one and an orange one. They did these in sets. Okay, so that is all the rub-ons on that one. Isn't that simple? Simple. Simple and elegant. Okay, so there's those two. Where'd our other cards go? Okay, here's the next one. Still keeping it a little simple. We're going to grab this one. Oops, let's make sure it's right side up. There's actually text on there. Right side up. And on this one, we're going to use the color palettes. These color palettes, were really cool. Let's see, is that the one I used there? Yeah, so this one right here. And we are not going to use the paint splot, so just cut that off and set it to the side. We are not going to use the butterfly, so cut her off, just put her in the side. So we're going to use that paint splot right there. Reminds me of like the paint palettes or the paint strips. These are fun ones too. Okay. And just add a rub-on. Isn't it fun? Just creating with rub-ons. We're just layering them, putting them one on top of the other. Rub-ons are so easy. Kids could do these too. And I'm sure kids would love them and be fascinated with how they work. Okay, we're looking for another paint splotch, but this time it looks like 4. Right here. We're going to go with that guy right there. For paint top. Perfect, Joanne. Yep, just send me a message and we'll see it. Okay, so we're going to go this way in the corner. Just like that. I always like to do kind of what I do at the top, do at the bottom. I like patterns to repeat, so it's more appealing to the eye. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we have to find some twiggy things. So this is one of them. Okay, we're going to go in here and cut out this twiggy guy. And it doesn't matter. Make sure you have a little bit of ink spots, but you don't need a lot of ink spots. We are not going to use these butterflies, so let's cut those out of the way so we don't accidentally rub them where they shouldn't be. We're going to have a pile of butterflies at the end of this. Okay, so there's that one. Then we've got this one right here. Another butterfly to put out of the way. Okay, then on the same sheet, you got a little one here at the top. Oh, I think we're doing good on time now. We're going to get 5 done. Okay, so then I kind of just went in and layered these, and I thought, oh, it'd be fun to kind of layer them. And then I thought, well, it needs to be a little bit taller, so I went in and added that little guy like that. So I kind of shot him up the top. So what we're going to start with is this one first. We're going to start with this one. And I just kind of laid it in and around that rub-on. So see how we kind of curve it? Just kind of curve it in and around. And then we'll just rub her on. And again, if you find that you didn't get it all off, you just lay it back down and rub it again. Okay, then we're going to go next with the big one. Actually, I think I went in next with the little one, and then I laid the big one on top to make him look like he was connected. Okay. So I just kind of went up off of that leaf, so I overlapped it a little bit on that previous leaf. So it's kind of touching right there. Okay. Touching that leaf. And then the other one we're going to put in, and this leaf I kind of overlapped on there. Just kind of make a fun cluster. Oh, we do go back and find some butterflies. Let's see if my butterflies are already in my pile. Nope, we're going to cut those. There we go. Isn't that pretty and fun? And I have a pile of discarded rub-on pieces. Okay, now we're going to hunt for our butterflies. Let's see. Let's see. Not on that one. Not on that one. Not on that one. Okay, so we're going to take this one right here, down at the bottom. Okay, butterfly number 1. And then butterfly number 2 is this one right here. And if you want to go through your laser cuts and you want a butterfly that has 3D to it and a little pop, by all means, feel free to pop a butterfly on there. Been breaking all my fingernails, unfortunately, not on purpose. I can't get a hold of anything now. Okay, there's number 3. And I got some kind of black blob on there, but that's okay because we are going to black splat this later anyways. Okay, so there's number 3. All right, so the next one, I loved the frames. I thought the frames were gorgeous, so I thought, how perfect would it be to use that frame to frame some of my favorite rub-ons in this set. So I did that. Amy says, how close do you cut to the rub-ons? I just chunk it out. I don't worry because the only thing that has a rub-on on it, the only thing that's going to stick and show on your paper is the rub-on. This white space does not have anything on it, so it's not going to show anything. So let me go cut my flower out. So when you're cutting these out, you do not have to be close. Look at that. I just stay in the white space. I just go out and I just chunk it. You do not have to be close. You do not have to be clean because the only thing that's going to rub off is that print. There's nothing white on it, so you won't see that. Okay, so there's the flower we're doing. Let's make sure my text is right side up. I don't think this one really makes a difference. And then this rub on here, oh, that was my favorite out of the whole set. I loved that one. So we're just going to chunk that out. I know, I love the frame. I felt like it framed. The frame framed. Oh, see, it grabbed it. The frame framed the flower. Okay, so we're going to put that. And if you wanted to make it a shaker, by all means, you could make it a shaker too. But I felt like this card and that rub-ons were so elegant that if I would have added shakers to it, it would have took away from how elegant and pretty that flower is. So I left it. I didn't do a shaker. I know. And sometimes if you have little bits and pieces on here, I'm like, yeah, lay that down and just rub it somewhere. Those are random little blobs. I want them. Love them. Okay, so there's that. Then we're going to bring the frame in because we want to make sure that our frame is where we want it. We want that flower to be nice and kind of centered. Before we put that rub-on on. So we want to make sure it's kind of where it's at. That's going to be perfect. And a trick that I did because I didn't want to lose where that flower was. So what I did is I peeled it back because you know sometimes we don't always put it back in the correct placing. So this is just a trick I did. I peeled it back and I cut that packaging. And then I laid it back down. and then peeled off the rest of that packaging. That way, because sometimes when you lift it up and you lay it back down, you're like, ooh, did I put that right in the back spot? Or did I go left? Did I go right? So I just kind of cut the packaging off, lifted it up, stuck it, and then put her right back down. Okay, there you go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, we have one more random rub-on to find. This one right here. This one right here. I'm going to go in around this way. I don't want to lose some of those inky spots that are with that one. So we're just going to chunk that guy out. Okay, and this one I did go in and just overlap it a little bit because I felt like we needed a little bit of random something down there. And if you noticed, all my cards, I pretty much have a diagonal. Pretty much going diagonally across the card. To me, there's just something appealing to the eye. To top left to bottom right. Okay, there we go. And that is all the rub-ons on that. And then we're going to put the frame. If you want to stick with the theme of mailable or flat, then by all means, just glue that puppy on there flat. I'm going to pop mine on there. Okay, but you know what? I'm going to glue it to my card base before I pop it on there, just so it's a little bit easier. So let me just get my card base out, make sure it opens on the right side. And I'm going to glue my card base down, and then I'll add my pops. Otherwise, it might be a little bit harder to get her glued down. Whoops. And then we're going to drop it. Okay, so we're going to put that on, and we're just going to have equal white all the way around it. Super simple, super easy. Here we go. And then we're going to add our foam on here. I love these foam strips by 3L. They're great for shaker cards. They are great for just laying down those skinny strips. So you can just snip them. They come in white, they come in black. And they also come in 2 different widths, but this is the skinniest one I'm using. I like the skinny one, it's my favorite. And if you take the backing off of them, you can curve them around corners and things too, which is nice. Okay. So we'll just peel that backing off. Boy, I have a pile of trash here, man. The thing about rub-ons is we have a big pile of trash. Oops, I didn't get all the backing off of that one. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you're enjoying the rub-ons. I just really wanted to play with these and show you guys how easy they are to do and how elegant they are. And you don't always have to have a card that has 14 million layers. We can kind of keep it simple. Okay, so there's that one. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and glue, while we've got the glue out, I'm going to go ahead and glue the other ones down too. Okay, do you guys have any questions? Are we doing good? I'm just gluing the other ones that we already did down, so that way they'll all be down when we get to the splatting. So far we've done 4, kind of quickie. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, hello. I was like, where are my card bases? They're like buried under the pile of rub-ons. Okay, we do have one more. We do have a fifth one, but I thought while we had the glue out, we just go ahead and glue the 4 we made so far. And maybe we go ahead and glue the 5th one down too, so they're all glued. Nuvo glues, guys, are back in stock, but hurry and grab them because our distributor is out. They will not have any more until January 15th, and we've already waited months for them. I have another shipment of the big bottles coming. The little bottles are all gone already. Okay, there's that one. We had one piece of paper left, which was this one. Let's go ahead and glue it down while we have it. Let's just glue it down. And this next one, we're going to do double frames. So the double frames are going to kind of, well, it'll frame it, double frame it. Okay, so all these are fairly flat. They're going to be easy for you guys to mail. 3, 4. Okay, so this last one, let's move that out of the way. Here's our last one, the rub-ons. Flowers. I loved these little flowers, and they fit perfect showcased inside of those frames. So one of them is here right on the bottom. And again, cut off that advertising. We don't want the marketing material on our card. And then the other one, bluebells. Are those bluebells? I don't know. The other little flower is up here in the top corner. So there's our 2 flowers. And then I love these paint splotches. These paint splotches are so much fun. The first one we're going to use is this one over here by this little caterpillar. And how adorable is that caterpillar? I did not use him, but I should have. He would have looked cute on a little flower branch or something. So one of those rub-ons is going to go up there. And then we're looking for another one. This one right here. The longer one. We're just going to chop that one out. Thank you, Rosie. Okay, so kind of the same idea. These guys don't matter. We'll put them to the side. But we want to make sure our flowers fit in the frames. So we want to make sure our frame kind of comes in a little bit of blue, and make sure our flower is framed inside of that piece. Okay, once I have it, I move him out of the way. I did the same kind of trick because I wanted to make sure it got placed right back in the same spot. So I kind of lifted it a little bit. And I cut that packaging off just enough to where I lay it down that it will stick and stay in place. Yeah, perfect. And then lift off that back piece, take it away, and then put that rub-on on there. Okay. I know, Evelyn, it is time to use all those rub-ons you've been collecting. My gosh, aren't they just elegant? So easy to use. You can accent your papers. The key, though, is to make sure whatever paper or background you're putting it on is not too busy because you don't want it to get lost. Okay, so we're going to lay that frame on there. And then we're going to lay our next flower on. And then we're going to lay our next, actually, we don't need that frame on there. We're going to lay our next frame on, and we want to make sure we have a little bit of teal around it. And again, we're going to wiggle our flower around until we find it nicely framed in the frame. Frame the frame. And then we're going to slide that frame out and stick that flower down. Rub-ons are also really cool to put in your, those of you that guys like to do art journaling and mixed media. Oh, these look so cool on backgrounds, mixed media backgrounds, especially those black ones from All in Create. Oh, it's like Be Still My Heart. How are we doing on time? Ooh, we are going to be cutting it close, but I think we're going to do it, guys. I think we'll get all 5 done. Okay, so then we've got our frames. And what I did first is I put these on pop. So we're going to pop our frames. Is that trash? Nope, that's not trash. So let's go ahead and put foam on the back of one of the frames. Doesn't matter which one. And there's a lot of great frames in this kit. I know Jennifer used one too. Really super cute ideas. They're just, frames are underrated. I think they're underrated. We just don't use them enough. We think, oh, we have to put a photo in it. Nope, you do not have to put a photo in it. You can put a flower. You can put scrapbooking paper. This makes the stuff jump out and stand out. So we're going to go ahead and put that frame on. Okay. And I put the bottom one on first. Okay, bottom one on first. And then what I did is I took this rub-on and I kind of, oh, we're going to have to cut because we have the pop dots. I cut really close to the rub-on so I don't have any of that scrap in there. That way I can tucky it kind of under there and it looks like it is peekabooing behind the frame. Okay, we're just going to tuck it up under there. There you go. Look at that. Okay, then we're going to put the next frame. The next frame is going to go on top. You're not going to want to put any pop dots here because this is laying on top of the other one. Okay, so we'll put pop dots along the top, along the side, on the bottom. Oops, put it a little bit straighter than that. I'm going to put just a little bit right here so it doesn't squish. Give it the squish test and it's squished. Don't want it to squish. We got 10 minutes. We're doing good. Okay. We're going to add that frame on there. Whoops. I brought my pop dots over too far. Let me cut that off. I was like, it wasn't laying down. There we go. Now we're good. And then same thing, we're just going to kind of sneak that rub on in under there. And that's it for the rub-ons, guys. Super easy, lots of layering. You still have tons of rub-ons here, so you can make more cards. So I can't wait to see what you guys do with the leftovers. Those are going to be fun. So all the cards are done. All the bases are on. Because it has all this kind of inky, painty, splatty on them, I felt like it needed a little bit more. So I added some black splat to mine. Some black splat. Okay. So all I did was take my watercolors and you could do gold. Gold would be pretty with it. You could do an iridescent. I did black. I just did black. Let me find a small brush. There's my black. I always find something else to hit it with. And again, I'm going to start at this corner and go down. So I'm kind of going opposite of what my original was, of what the patterns were, okay? And that's it. I kind of added a little bit of black splat. That one's a little too fine. Okay, added some black splat. Okay, there's one. Then our next one has a frame on it. Again, kind of there and there. So I kind of did the opposite of what we did with the... And I'm going to just kind of do it in the corner, not a whole lot across the flower, because I just didn't want a lot on there, but a little is okay. So there's that. Okay, nice, right? And then we have this one. Again, I'm just going to kind of do it top corner. Where did that paintbrush come from? Oh. Evidently, we'll have a big black one right there. I have found once you put a splat on, don't try to take it off. It just makes a bigger god-awful mess. Embrace it and leave it. Okay, so there's a black splat on that one. Here's our flower. And sometimes if I don't want things in that area or something there, I will take a scrap piece of paper, or I have my rub-on plastic, and let's say I don't want a lot of black splat on that flower, I'll just cover it up. And then that way I can do my black splats, and I know I didn't splat in the center of my flower or center of people or something, and then you can do it that way too. Okay, so there's our flower. And then our last one, oh, we're actually going to end fast. Is this one. And I'm going to do the same thing. I don't want that splat on my flower. I want that flower to stay nice and pretty. Okay, I'm just using watercolors. I'm using black. Hero Arts has some great black splats. There's no right or wrong. Use whatever you have to splat. I have the Hero Arts back splat. I have the Amsterdam paint. Gosh, there's tons of different products out there that do wonderful splats. Just grab whatever you have. Grab whatever you like. Okay, there's that. Okay, so the last thing that I did is I just went in and added my sentiments, guys. So I'll just show you those. I just kind of put thanks down in the bottom corner of these. All of them, I just gave it a little thanks. This was die cut out of the scrap. So we had like 1/4 of an inch, or maybe it was 1/2 inch of scrap that we cut out. I just die cut out my thanks with that coordinating B-side paper. So it has that same blue. And then just put pop dots on there and popped them up a little bit. So quick, easy cards. We got 5 done in an hour, guys. How awesome is that? And that's how easy rub-ons are to do. So thank you, everybody, so much for joining tonight. Don't forget, we always put the replays up on our YouTube channel, so make sure to follow Scrapbook-N-Memories and follow Clipper Street, and you can find all the download. We'll download our crafty hours and upload them over there. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your love and your support. We truly appreciate it, and purchasing the kits with us to do these crafty hours so we can continue to do them with you guys. And tomorrow, crafty hour number 76, I think it's 76, crazy, will go live tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Nope, 11 o'clock Central. Oh my gosh, what's my mind doing? 9 o'clock Pacific. Tomorrow morning, Deanna's already put the event up so you can click that you're attending. Please join in for the live. We will be plugging the links at that time so you guys can jump on the website, grab those, and guarantee to get your kit. They are in stock right now. The add-ons, we have a couple are in stock right now, so make sure to jump on and grab those. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a fabulous night, and as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye.